exhausted from a life interrupted with all sorts of symptoms, anxiety, depression, and problems with relationships, I had courageously started my 4th attempt at therapy with one previous helpful experience. I had been hopeful but not confident before starting. And then I began, and then I felt heard, and the hope grew. Whatever diagnosis they had given me in the past, I always knew I had anxiety. I thought it was a thing I could work on to eliminate, get rid of, and that pills could reduce it. I found out that one of the top searches on Google was, "What is anxiety?" And this was my continual concern, along with, "And how do I get rid of it?" Anxiety to me had always meant the crushing feeling that stopped me doing new things, normal things, almost anything. The tension, the panic, the desire to hide under my duvet for days on end. The solution I'd found was disconnection. Well, it found me and then we found each other. It was a curse and a blessing. I could get through the hardest things by simply not being there. So, I rock up to therapy and I found that even I had underestimated my anxiety. Anxiety, it turns out, is also my IBS. It's like the resistant part of my treatment-resistant depression. It's the fuzziness that meant I failed all my exams and job interviews never went my way. It's the thing that made me think I was stupid, incapable and weak. How much more evidence did I need to stack up before we agree it's a great idea to ditch anxiety? Not only did I underestimate how much it was messing with me, I also had no idea it would be the key to my recovery. I started filling in a colour-coded questionnaire to help me learn about the meaning of anxiety. Green for keep going, red for stop or slow down. Turns out the tells I've been using to stop were often in the keep going category, like getting really tense and my heart racing. And ironically, the ones in the stop category, like my head going fuzzy or completely disconnecting from my body, I've usually just bust through those and suffered later. The slowing down and noticing what was going on in the therapy room, in me and between us, gave us immediate access to my anxiety signals. Much to my initial distress, I really just wanted to ignore the anxiety and try and get through to what we needed to do to get me better. But instead, the focus time and time again was not on the story, but about what was happening right there, right now. He shared what he saw and inquired gently but persistently about what was happening inside me in that moment. He also showed me what he saw, mirrored my body language, my shrinking and my hiding, without judgment, to help me see it myself. So familiar it had become that it was almost invisible. Gradually, I was more able to share what I became aware I felt inside. We noticed that when I wanted something, my anxiety spiked and I minimised it. At first, I was so anxious to share what was important to me. My head went fuzzy, and after some time, my body went into kind of floppy and told me off. What's the point? I'm useless at this. I'm never going to get this. And in the end, I got tense when I said what I wanted. And my heart raced while I was sharing what I wanted without feeling so intensely scared. And eventually, I delighted in sharing what I wanted. It might seem really weird to be delighting in owning my wants like this, but my early experiences were such that my wants were not a priority. In fact, they were dangerous for me and seemed to cause a lot of problems. So they became associated with anxiety. Hell, no wonder I was anxious all the time. We always have wants: food, water, shelter, company, stimulation. So I always had anxiety. In disconnecting, wanting from anxiety, it was like drinking water after years in the desert. The most delightful, delicious thing I could imagine. Learning about what I wanted was really scary. It was terrifying, like staring into a chasm of the unknown. At first, it just felt permanently dangerous, but now it gives me the opportunity to know myself and to explore my world. And what led me to this rich oasis? My anxiety, of course. The anxiety showed us there was a potential danger, so we explored it in a safe place to find out if there was really a danger for me. There were tears along the way, of course, and pain and anger about what I had missed out on, about what I had been denied, about what I had been through. I met these emotions again and again and again as I faced the reality of my journey. We followed my anxiety, met the activated emotional systems underneath, and we made our way. And what was the compass of anxiety leading me to? To drinking in everything that an honest, emotionally attuned connection with myself, others, and my world can give me. The outcome was so valuable. The journey was so full, though, of deep shame and guilt. Disabling and annihilating, unbearable shame and guilt. Feelings that almost stopped me from staying on the journey or believing it would ever feel different. These were so entangled with my sense of self. I wouldn't have believed you a year ago, but in the end, these feelings were not mine. The guilt was not mine. The shame was not mine. I was carrying them for others, and eventually I let them go. It's hard to say that I love my anxiety, but I love what it gives me. It gives me access to what's going on underneath, signals that I need to keep going or pause or stop. Just as fear, in considering our external world, shows us whether it's safe to cross a road or not, anxiety tells me whether I'm feeling internally safe and gives me the opportunity to discern if it's an experience from the past creating internal danger or it's based on the present moment experience. Looking back, I can see it took such courage. It felt like a chasm impossible to cross, but there was a bridge and a safe route. The journey I courageously stepped into with the help of my therapist. This precious gift we've created together means the world to me. It saved my life. It helped me to live fully.